AJ, let's talk TLDR. All right, my man. So I said we were going to do it a little bit differently this week, and we are. And as you can see, folks, we got a ton of picks there for your pleasure. So, AJ, it looks like we're in consensus for the majority of these picks. However, we do have a couple of picks that we are kind of, going toe-to-toe on, head-to-head, I should say. So let's talk about the Bloody Water Podcast consensus picks first. First, Cheeto Marlon Vera, or Marlon Cheeto Vera, I guess I should say. We got him pulling the win on the greatest bantamweight to ever exist in Dom Cruz, probably, who's never lost a fight that wasn't a title fight. Oh man, we're gonna have to explain ourselves a little bit later. We got David Onama over Nate Landwehr, the Glory MMA product. UFC debutante Yasmin Jauregui, and she is a former Combate champion right there. She's somebody I've had my eyes on for quite some time, so we're gonna talk about that one, of course. And then lastly, Bruno Silva, Blindado. We have him over GM3. Now, AJ, when it comes down to the consensus picks, right? One more time. We have Cheeto Vera. We have David Onama. We have Yasmin Jauregui. And then we also have Bruno Silva. Those are pretty much, all of them are favorites in their fights, right? One unknown in Yasmin, right? That's the only unknown that we have here. However, there's a lot of tape. She's undefeated, 8-0. Knockout artist. Come on, what are we talking about? Are there any one of those picks right there that gives you any pause that you want to talk about before we jump into the ones that we're kind of contested on?
Honestly, man, it's the unknown. It's the Jauregui versus what's her name? Yasmin Lucindo, I think, or Jasmine, however you say it. Yeah. That's the kind of one. Just because there's a lot of unknown going on right there, man. Lucindo has some heavy hips, good ground game, and if she gets on top, it might be a different story. But Jauregui's got a lot to answer for, or a lot to give back to the other Jasmine up there, man.
Absolutely, I'd say the same, man. The only other one that I'm slightly concerned about, and I'm not really concerned too much about the Jauregui fight. I think she's such a stud, such a talented prospect. But David Onama versus Nate Landwehr, simply because Nate the Freight, man, you know what I mean? He's a guy who can turn a fight around at any given moment. So we got experience versus a dude who is a young firecracker in David Onama, man. So we got a lot to talk about in just a few. But let's talk about the ones that we're a little contested upon, right? Which we do have 3 of them. So I got Asmat Mirzakhanov over Devin Clark, and I understand the unknown commodity of Mirzakhanov versus a Devin Clark, who we've seen time and time again. However, I just think that Clark, he's had a little bit of adversity when it comes down to people who have real power in their hands and can stuff a takedown. If he gets the takedown, he's going to have his way with him, right? I think so. If he can keep him down there, it's going to be a long night for Mirzakhanov. But if he stays on the feet, brother, I think Mirzakhanov, even though he's a young, 11-1, 11-0 or something like that, real chance to win. What do you think?
Yeah, man, this one actually does give me a little bit. I was back and forth on this one a lot too, because I feel like Devin Clark does a lot better at heavyweight. He's back down to 205, back down to the class that he's having a lot of struggles with. But like you said, man, Mirzakhanov, however you say his last name, dude, this dude's a killer. So I feel like it's going to bring the best out of Devin Clark, really give him the push. And he's got a lot of experience where this is, I think, Mirzakhanov's 3rd fight in the UFC. I could be wrong about that. 2nd or 3rd fight in the UFC, not counting the Contender Series.
Second fight, brother. So
second fight.
Yeah, no worries, man. So yeah, that one's gonna be definitely interesting. Now we have a rebooking. This one, I'm not gonna lie, folks. We were in consensus last week. Ariane Lipski versus Priscilla Cachoeira. However, the pause that I have is that Ariane Lipski, she missed weight. She said she had COVID, probably couldn't train properly, and they're just rebooking it a week later. I can't imagine you get that much healthier within a week. I'm gonna go flip my pick. I'm gonna pick Priscilla Cachoeira, and I actually think, AJ, that there's a good shot that this fight ends within the distance, that Cachoeira is able to get it done with those heavy hands. Simply speaking, this is a pick going off of too many intangibles and the externals in the background going wrong. I don't like that. I do think Lipski is the more talented, more technical prospect, but that's neither here nor there. And then lastly, AJ, Nina Nunez versus Cynthia Calvillo. And if you remember, we broke down this fight a couple weeks back, and you would think I would have switched my pick at this point, because Calvillo, if she lands that takedown, it's game over. This is at flyweight too, not at strawweight. So Nina Nunez is a little bit at a disadvantage, but kind of same thing as the Mirzakhanov pick. If Nina Nunez can stay on her feet, I think she kind of just picks apart Calvillo on the feet. I know Calvillo praises her boxing, but Nina Nunez, literally, that is what she's known for. So what do you think about that pick?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like both of these fighters, these are the ones we're talking about that need the fight, man. They need to both need to win big, and sometimes what's really doing it for me, I feel like Amanda Nunez, the goatess, the greatest, one of the greatest ever do it, kind of takes precedent in that relationship, in that fight, fight team that they have going on over there. And Nina Nunez kind of gets put on the back burner, man. I feel like she's lost a lot of steam. Hopefully that's, for your pick anyway, Derek, hopefully that's not the case. But either way, I feel like there's a little bit that's just kind of missing sometimes. And that's why I'm going with Cynthia Calvillo, man, which also needs to win bad. 3 losses in a row. It's rough to see.
Well, given that there's a 1 pick difference in our total, yearly scorecards, and we have 3 different picks on this card, well, guess what, man? I think a lead just might change, man, or it might get solidified. Who knows? But those are the picks for you, folks. So, consensus picks: Marlon Vera, David Onama, Yasmin Hadagui, and Bruno Silva. Our contending pick, I got Azamat Mirzakhanov. AJ's rocking with Devin Clark. I got Priscilla Cachoeira. He's rocking with Ariane Lipski. And I got Nina Nunez, and he's rocking with Cynthia Calvillo. So, folks, just so you know, this is the TLDR. This is just the quick run around. This is kind of why we picked it, all that good stuff. If you want to know in-depth reasons on why we're going with, who we're going with, how we think we're going to get it done, prop bets, all that stuff, stick around and we will let you know all that information. And if you are saying, like, this is it, I'm heading out, drop a like, subscribe, share the show with your friends. You know what time it is now.